let's talk about what it really takes to hit consistent 5K months in your business. Not the strategy, but the actual truth behind what you need to do. Now, I did a whole video on hitting consistent income strategy, and I'm going to link it here, and you can go and have a watch of that if you want the actual strategy behind like the physical 3 steps. Today, we're not talking about that. We're talking about what it genuinely takes from you as a person and your approach to business to actually hit consistent income goals and do this over a long period of time. So there's 3 key things. One is detachment. The second is resilience. And the third is testing. So we're going to dive into these 3 and make sure that you know exactly what this means for you and your business as we're coming into 2024. So first things first, detachment. Now, a lot of people get detachment wrong because they detach from the wrong part of the process. And I really want you guys to understand what this means. So when we're talking about detachment, it's about detaching from the result. It's about detaching from the outcome and not detaching from the process. So I hear so many people who, you know, they don't want to continue posting because they're not getting as much engagement. They don't want to like show their face on video because they are worried about what people are going to say and if it's going to get them a result. And they keep going around in this cycle of like, well, you know, is this the thing that's going to get me the result? Is this going to get me the result? Is this going to get me the result? And because of that, they actually become detached from the process and they're just focusing on the end result. They're just focusing on like a quick fix, a silver bullet, you know, something that's going to get them an instant result. And realistically, none of that is actually true on a large scale in business. Business takes time. It takes figuring out what works for you, because every strategy works, but not every strategy will work for you or your business type. So you've got to find the things that actually you enjoy doing. They give you like a lot of energy, they make you really happy, they like fit into the way that you want to live your life. There's like a really good balance in how we make this all happen. But what we can't do is we can't detach from the actual process, because the process is the bit that we're going to be doing time and time and time and time again, and the result is the thing that is interchangeable. So sometimes we might be aiming for a 2K month, sometimes we might be aiming for a 5K month, like depending on what we're doing, how busy we want to be. Like in December, I do a little bit less, so I might think like, okay, actually I don't want to take on any one-to-one clients in December, so that might impact my income. Or I might think like, okay, I'm going to really push the program, so that could like positively impact the income. And like, you get to decide what this looks like, but you can't do that if you're just focusing on the results and you're completely detached from the process. The process is the actual learning what works for you, what doesn't. So some people absolutely love making reels, some people hate it, some people absolutely love doing video, some people absolutely hate it. I've got clients who will not do video, they absolutely hate it, and they would much rather write long copy documents, write books, like that sort of stuff. So it's completely up to you how the process works for you, but the thing that you can't do is just solely focus on the results. Because if you're solely focused on the results, you will forget the reason that you went on this journey in the first place. You will forget to serve your clients as well as you possibly can. You will forget to actually have something important to say and be part of the change that you want to see in the world, whatever that change is for you. But when you're solely focused on the results, you're just chasing trends, you're constantly rushing to try and stay up with everything that's happening. Like, it's not a great way to build a business. So that is something that I want you to think about. How do we stay engaged in the process, make sure the process is exactly what we want it to be, but detach from the results? Because as you'll see as we carry on going through, not everything's going to get you the result that you want. Okay, so the second thing is this idea of resilience. So with resilience, this is not about burnout. This is not about hustling and pushing it hard as you can and, you know, causing yourself any mental or physical like burnout. This is about going again, posting again, showing up again when you don't necessarily get the results immediately. So if you look at like reel trends, yes, some people have accounts where every single reel does like huge numbers and the accounts are huge and it's like incredible. When you're first starting out and you've got under 1,000 followers, the likelihood is 1 in 10 reel will get 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 views. And the rest of them will get in the low hundreds. Okay, so if you are only wanting to create content that does like a massive reach, when you first start out, it will mean that you never create content. If you only want to create, you know, you post something on your Instagram grid and you only get 1 or 2 likes, you post a video onto your brand new YouTube channel and you only get 1 or 2 people subscribe, you've got to look at each of those things as success on the journey. And yes, it might not be the huge result that you want, but actually every single piece is a step towards the end goal. And something I want you to understand is like, you don't need to have a viral account to make £2,000 to £5,000 a month. I mean, you don't even need a viral account to make 10,000, 15,000 a month, realistically. So when we look at this and we think about this process, we've got to think about how can I show up even if I'm not getting the result? How can I be resilient in saying I'm going to post for 90 days before I start looking at the data and analyzing what's working and what's not working? One of my favorite things that I heard from Alex Hormozy is that you should do everything in percentages when you first start your business. So rather than saying, you know, on this post I got 1 like and then on my next post I got 2 likes, we say, you know, the second post had 50% more engagement than the first post. Doesn't that feel so much nicer when you're first starting out to talk in percentages rather than in numbers? Because 1 and 2 both feel low, especially when there are accounts that are getting, you know, hundreds of thousands of views and likes on their posts. But actually for you, when you're first starting out, whether it is your social media, whether it is your email sequences, whether it is your sales pages, you know, how many people landed on a page and signed up to your webinar, how many people landed on a page and bought your course, how many people landed on a page and took the action you asked them to. If you can make refinements and then you can say, okay, you know, I'm going to do this for 90 days, I'm going to get a baseline and then I'm going to go again and see if I can make that baseline better, and then I'm going to go again and see if I can make that baseline better, and you just keep doing that, you will start to see momentum build in your business. The biggest challenge that I see people having, you know, people who are in my program, people who have done my course, is that they go really hard right at the beginning, then they don't get the immediate result and the immediate reward that they want, and then they just pull back and they disappear for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Then they come back and they do a massive push and then they don't get the results and then they disappear. Now the problem with that is not only is that bad for the algorithm, where you're there and then you're not, then you're there and then you're not, and they don't know if they can trust that you'll be putting out content, but it's bad for people who follow you. Because 1 minute you're there everywhere, all in their mind, they're seeing all of you, and then the next minute they don't hear about you for weeks. How does that build trust that you would be able to show up for that person if they were your client? How does that make somebody feel like, okay, yes, this person is, you know, practicing what they preach, they are showing up and taking the action, they are, you know, if you're asking your clients to take bold actions when they're in your programs, or getting coached by you, you have to be doing the same thing. Yes, you might be training your clients in a completely different area, but taking action is taking action. Yeah, the thing you teach your clients is easy for you. You can take that action. The thing that I teach you might be hard for you, and that's the thing you need to take action on. So it's just about having this idea of like, how can I have resilience to go for months, years, like have a cause, have something that you want to share in the world, have something that is so important to you, so that you're not just basically going, okay, I've shared this thing once and now nobody's responded, so I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. You have to have a level of resilience and a willingness to stay in your niche, stay in your area. And this is where like you hear people say like you have to do something you love, because this is when it really counts. Doing something that you love, where you have to show up time and time again and not get the instant rewards. This is when it really pays to love what you're talking about. To feel like I could talk about this for days, for years, for months, you know, for infinity, and I would never get bored of it. That's the feeling that you want when it comes to your content, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your offer, when it comes to everything that you're creating. That's what's going to help you get to consistent months, because it's really easy to have like one £2,000 month where you like go super hard and you go crazy and you know you burn yourself out, but actually being able to build a consistency in how you show up, that's where the money's at. That's where the consistent income comes from. Okay, so the final one is testing. Testing, 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 testing. Nobody tests enough when they first start out in business. People don't necessarily understand what they should be testing, how they should be testing, what they should be testing, and I want to break it down for you. So, when you think about testing, this is in every single aspect of your business. Okay, so from the very, very starting point of deciding what price point you're going to use, I want you to test that price point. Put it out, you know, at this price, like say at 1,200, then put it out at 99.97, then put it out at 155, and like just test the market of like where is the sweet spot for your product, because every product has an amount that people are expecting to pay for it and willing to pay for it, and you need to find the sweet spot between those two. So rather than just going in and saying I'm going to charge X amount and never changing your pricing, go in with this like playful attitude of like, oh, it'll be really nice to charge this for this price, like it'll be really nice to charge this price, like, and just see how it feels, because the more that you can test right at this beginning point, the better it's gonna be. Okay, so pricing, test that. You want to test things like your content. So do your audience relate better to videos, to carousel posts, to short content reels, to like long form YouTube videos like this, to written like blog posts, PDFs, workbooks, like that sort of written content. Like what do they, as your audience, really resonate towards, and how can you then create more content like that? Now, the only way you do that is by creating all of the different types of content and seeing what resonates. Is it talking reels where you're talking to camera? Is it trending audio reels? Is it graphics that have like pictures of you in it? Is it carousels and like infographics where you're creating like Canva type documents? Like what is it that your audience are absolutely craving? And you have to continue to test this because it won't stay the same forever. So I've gone through phases with my YouTube channel where I will be doing like 10-minute videos, and then at other times I'll be doing like half-an-hour videos, 45-minute videos, 20-minute videos, and that's because the consistency of what people need throughout the year changes. How long people are willing to sit and watch a video changes. Whether it's winter or summer, whether it's, you know, holiday season, like there's so many factors that will impact this. And actually you need to think about what does that look like for your audience and how do we test all of those things, okay? If you're going to run something like ads, testing loads of different creatives, loads of different pictures, graphics, videos, like copy, like you want to test everything that you possibly can. you also want to test inside your programs. So once you've created your offer, you want to test, like, okay, what if we run this for 12 weeks? What if we run this for, 6 months? What if we run this for a year? What if it's lifetime access? What if we put in a challenge? What if we add in a different worksheet? Like, what if we do a printed workbook versus a digital one? Like, there's so many ideas that you can go through, and you can ask, like, what if we, and think about your own offer and your own product and your own customers, and think, like, what if we added in something that would just blow their mind? So with my program, the Balance Code, and even the YouTube channel, over the last couple of months, I've been adding in a lot more meditations to the Balance Code program, and like monthly meditations basically. And I had a couple of weeks ago where I was quite unwell and I wasn't able to record, so I was like missing a week of content. So I decided to pull one of those meditations and put it onto the YouTube channel, and it performed like, I think it was like 75% better than some of my other content, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So something where, like, I wasn't even trying to test, like I hadn't even thought about that of being like something I wanted to do, but it just really suited my life at the time, put it up, and now I'm like, okay, brilliant, we're going to test meditations. We're going to test like the sweet spot for the length of the meditations, the visuals that people see, like how do I use those meditations if so many people are seeing them to grow the subscriber channel? Like, how do I use that to get people to sign up to my lead magnet? How do I get people to sign up to, a low paid offer off the back of something like that? Like, there's so many things that you can do when you start to actually test the concept of, like, oh wow, like I'm getting so much traction here, how can I utilize that to the best of my ability? Now, most people just like decide on one offer, that's the thing, they go out, they do one type of content, they keep like just plugging the same thing over and over and over again. I want you to think, how can I do each of these different elements in like 11 different ways? How can I say this one sentence in 10 different ways? How can I film this one bit of content in 5 different ways? How can I share this thought in 3 different ways? And like, there is so many incredible things that you can do. I saw the lead magnet that I downloaded, and it was about content creation and how you repurpose content. It was quite a while ago now, but it was from these 2 ladies called the 2 Lauras, and they basically have this grid where they talk about how you can repurpose one thought and one piece of content into 12 different ways. And it was like the simplest thing. So you take a concept, so for instance with me, consistent 5k months, and then we look at, okay, how do we do that 12 times? So they've got, you can do like 3 steps, then you can do a customer testimonial, then you can do the biggest myth, then you can do like the thing people avoid the most, like, and you can just go through this whole grid of all of these ideas. Like, that's the perfect way to test. I have one core concept, I'm going to test it in 12 ways, I'm going to see what hits the best, and then I'm going to make a note of that, and then I'm going to take another concept and I'm going to do the same thing. So for me, for instance, I would do consistent income, that's like the big category. Then I would do nervous system regulation, big category, and then I would start breaking that down. So your financial goals in 12 ways, your offer in 12 ways, your awareness strategy in 12 ways, and then your automation in 12 ways. Then I move over to the nervous system stuff, and I would say, okay, regulation in 12 ways, expansion in 12 ways, managing, like anchoring, breathing, etc., like in 12 ways. And that already, you can see from that, has given me probably like a year's worth of content to share, just by saying I'm going to take this and I'm just going to test all of these. Now, the beauty of testing is that the faster you do it, the faster you get the result, the quicker you know what your people like, content-wise, like topic-wise, delivery-wise, and like how they react best. So, if I do this type of content, I get the most signups. If I do this type of content, I get the most likes. If I do this type of content, I get the most comments, like whatever it is. So Testing is such an incredible thing. And if you can say, I want to test, you know, a topic every single week, do it in a million different ways, like go out, push us, like not like kill yourself, but like go out creatively and look at like, how can I do this in loads of different ways? How can this be so fun? And if you have that mindset towards your business, if you have that mindset towards how you're showing up and what you're actually doing with your business, I promise you things will get so much easier. Because you're testing from a place of detachment. You're testing where you don't care about the end result, in the sense of like, it's just an experiment. It can go horribly wrong and you've learned something. It can go dramatically well and you've learned something. And you're coming at it from a point of resilience. I'm going to do this for every single topic that I've got in my business, and I'm going to see what lands. I'm going to see how this works. So there's so much great stuff that you can do, but these three core things, detachment, resilience, and testing, are the like foundation layer for the type of person you have to be in order for all of the strategy to work. If you just show up and you just do like, oh, I've got an offer, you know, I've got a message, I'm going to put like 3 posts out all exactly the same every single week, it's still not going to work. So you have to have this level of willingness to show up. Okay, so next week we're going to be diving into the nervous system and how we like regulate behind this strategy, like how we regulate behind this 5K. Because again, there's like more to it than just the strategy piece. So I'm super excited to share this with you. I hope you're having the most incredible start to December. Remember, we still have this whole month before we like close off the year. Somebody said to me the other day, oh, I haven't hit my year goals, like I'm so upset. I was like, dude, you still have 4 weeks. Stop it. So remember, you're still in the game, and be excited for the process over the results. It will help you have a long-term business over something that just does like a 1-month wonder and then disappears. Okay, I will see you guys next week. I cannot wait to jump into our next topic. If you're not already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It does really help make a difference